nearby
fuck is these
heard
niggas?
the scream.
Hold on, gang. Why are these niggas free? Let's keep it a bean. Bro, I don't wish jail or death upon nobody because I feel like the shit that you wish on somebody, it'll come back on you. But why are sex offenders getting let off early? Alright, man, what do YouTube? It's your boy Key coming at y'all boys with a brand new video. And before we do anything, man, I gotta give a big thank you to everybody who hit that subscribe button. We have just passed our first major milestone of 10,000 subscribers. We already about to hit 10,100 subscribers, so I'm very blessed for that. I did take 2 days off, kind of getting things together in my personal life so I can be able to expand. I want to do more TikToks. I want to do more reels for y'all, like splitting up these videos. I want to do more vlogs. Like I really want to vlog. That's kind of like one of my big to do things on this year, is like really build up a vlog channel. So I appreciate everything that y'all do for me. Make sure y'all go in the comment section, type something, say something, like, comment, and subscribe. All my channel links is in the description. Let's get into today's video.
A 30-year-old man and his 5-year-old daughter were murdered at a car wash in the Fort Worth suburb of Forest Hill.
Sky 4 video shows dozens of evidence markers around a maroon Challenger. Also, a vacuum still laying in the front seat. Fort Worth and Mansfield police were on scene to help with crowd control. Raw emotions as loved ones rushed to the car wash. Cries were heard as people leaned on one another.
When is gonna stop? He didn't target nobody. He was a family man, and he was going around rapping. Okay, why would you target him? He didn't bother nobody. And a baby, his baby.
March 3rd, 2025, at approximately 10:49 a.m., Forest Hill police were dispatched to a shooting incident at a local car wash in the 6500 block of Forest Hill Drive.
But here's another thing that I want y'all to really pay attention to. I was watching some videos about just like this area of Fort Worth and what's going on. So this is, I guess, where all the people who moving out the hood, this is where they moving to. You feel what I'm saying? So it's a guaranteed thing that you're going to run into somebody. Not necessarily somebody you got problems with, but somebody that you know. You feel what I'm saying? Especially if y'all trying to do better with y'all life. This, that, and the third, they're moving to Forest Hills. And a lot of babies and kids and unintended targets are getting hit in Fort Worth. A lot.
On arrival, officers discovered a 30-year-old male laying on the ground suffering multiple gunshot wounds. He'd later be identified as Chucky Smith, but more commonly known as the Texas rapper Get Money Lil Ronnie. Inside of his vehicle, officers made a horrific discovery. His 5-year-old daughter had been shot. Officers tried life-saving measures on both of them, but tragically, both of them would be pronounced dead at the scene.
And they said the people on the scene, obviously, like, it's none of their business, XYZ, but they say nobody on the scene tried to render any type of aid, even after the shooting stopped. They said everybody fled. So it wasn't too many witnesses. Everybody fled.
Investigation revealed 2 shooters wearing blue jeans and gray sweaters exited a white 4-door Kia.
These niggas was matching on a drill.
Hold
up. These niggas was twinning on the drill. These niggas slid, killed him and his 5-year-old daughter while wearing matching outfit. That shit is zesty as hell. That's crazy, gang. And it's not even like they was wearing all black. They're wearing gray sweaters on foot and blue jeans.
And opened fire. Surveillance video would hit the internet showing they fired from close range as Ronnie took off running across the parking lot and away from his vehicle. Ronnie would keep running, making his way to a dumpster where the 2 shooters who appeared to be fleeing came back. Standing over Ronnie, one shooter would again open fire, dropping him to the ground. The second shooter would go behind the dumpster, off camera, and it can be assumed he also fired into Ronnie while he was on the ground. With both shooters running off, Ronnie would make one final attempt to run, but only last 5 seconds before collapsing.
Whoa.
The same day of the shooting, police would announce a suspect had been identified, and an active capital murder warrant had been issued. 2 days later.
But you got to think about this too, though. if you do, like, obviously, like, the way that this was set up, it kind of probably was like they just ran into him or they just seen him randomly at a car wash. So it wasn't like meticulous or this, that, and the third. But for you to do something and then they know that you did it that same day is fucking insane. And then you get caught like 2-3 days later. Like, you might as well not even did this dumbass
Police
shit.
would identify
was
both
killing this nigga really worth
to the
throwing away
public.
your life that quickly?
24-year-old Adonis Robinson is a convicted sex offender who was released from prison in August of 2024. He'd be convicted of sexual assault and failing to comply with sex offender registration. Apparently, he was 19 years old at the time of his arrest, while his victim was 55. According to a news article from 2019, a woman was jogging a trail when she passed a man wearing a hoodie pulled tight over his head. She was attacked from behind as he threw her to the ground, hitting her and threatening to beat her unconscious if she didn't stop screaming. She continued to fight back and scream as he tried pulling down her jogging shorts. Someone nearby heard the scream.
Hold on, gang. Why are these niggas free? Let's keep it a bean. Bro, I don't wish jail or death upon nobody because I feel like the shit that you wish on somebody, it'll come back on you. But why are sex offenders getting let off early? It should be no parole, no probation for sex offender violations, especially if it's like on, I pleaded guilty or this, that, and the third. No, nigga, you gonna do your whole time. What the fuck?
And came to her aid as the suspect saw them
they ain't street
and
niggas, they
ran
rapists.
off. During the attack, the suspect dropped his phone charger, and DNA on the charger would trace back to Adonis.
So no wonder why he got caught so quick. Yeah, you're a dumbass. Nigga dropped his charger at the scene he dropped his phone charger at the scene where he attempted to sexually assault a random person while jogging. They sweating and shit, and you still trying to make your move is fucking insane to me. Get caught, and it's like you halfway smiling in your mugshot. Dumb as hell.
This video from a nearby cell phone store would show he bought the charger hours before the attack. 21-year-old Jacoby Russell has prior convictions for unlawfully carrying a weapon, assault of a pregnant person, and assault with bodily injury. Apparently in 2023, he beat his child's mother by striking, scratching, or dragging her with his hand. A plea deal would leave him on probation for 3 years, but only months later he'd be arrested for shooting a man. Another plea deal would spare him from prison, reducing his crime to a misdemeanor and sentencing him to a 1-year labor sentence, meaning once a week he had to work at the sheriff's office. He decided not to go and had a warrant out for his arrest at the time of the car wash shooting.
See, this is what they be saying by the justice system fails certain individuals. If the first two weirdos was locked up for their, I gotta find a word for it, because you know YouTube be on it about certain things, but they're actually that shit trash. I gotta figure out something. But their SA crimes, this would have never happened. If this dude would have got fully charged for what he did, they probably would still be alive. Now, we don't know yet who is shooter 1, shooter 2, and who's the getaway driver or whatever, because there was only 2 shooters and he showed us 3 people. But regardless, all of these people, lengthy criminal backgrounds, lengthy criminal histories, and shouldn't be free. But they are. And they're committing more crime. Which is going to make it harder for people in the future who want to do the right thing after they do something stupid to actually get out. But they're thinking 5 minutes after, oh, everybody gonna know that we did this. They're not thinking about jail, death,
it would seem the system failed its Texas citizens.
Oh, I literally just said
neither man should have been in society after one attempted a rape while the other beat his pregnant girlfriend and then shot a man. The internet would heat up when photos of Jacoby next to Texas rapper CJ Casino were found. This would make a connection that would leave fans spinning theories as to who was responsible for getting Ronnie killed. But instead of focusing on the hypotheticals, what we need to focus on is accountability.
But look, this the thing though. If there's a phone call where they called this dumbass nigga CJ Casino and they said, "Hey, look, is Ronnie right here? What you want us to do?" He getting life too.
I can't say what made Ronnie a target. It could have been his affiliation to the rapper Go Yayo that got him killed.
Happened.
But he was at a car wash in the morning with his daughter.
That's what I think.
Shooters opened fire.
I think him being so close and cool with Go Yayo and people not being able to get to Go Yayo after all these years. If you don't know, Brand got killed with Go Yayo. Lazat got killed with Go Yayo. It's a couple people that got killed with Go Yayo where Yayo was probably the real target. You feel what I'm saying? So time after time they trying to kill Yayo. They can't kill him. He keep going to jail. He keep doing this. He getting out, still getting money, flexing on niggas, going right back to jail. They can't get him. You can't get him. What you gonna do? You gonna get his people. From the research that I did, Lil Ronnie, whether people want to admit it or not, he wasn't no street guy in that sense. He probably sold drugs here and there. He gambled a lot, XYZ, but he was a get money nigga. That's why his name is Get Money Lil Ronnie. He was a get money little nigga, and he really wasn't with the bullshit. You feel what I'm saying? He was a man though. At the end of the day, he probably ain't going for none of that. You know what I'm saying? But it's a sad situation.
From rappers to producers to even DJs to expect violence because it comes within the culture of hip hop. So a 30-year-old father can be considered careless for even having his daughter in the back seat. Normalizing violence leaves men not having the ability to be fathers as their lives are constantly in danger. And in this situation, I don't think the shooters knew that little girl was in the car, but the thought of what if didn't stop them. I can't think of anyone that isn't.
But the thing about it is, if they was willing to do all that anyways, you right there on him, basically, almost like standing over him from the first shot getting let off. I get, but they did say he was vacuuming the car, so he halfway in, halfway out the car. Why ain't y'all just get over on that side or something? Like, y'all shooting through the car, like.
Let's do with this story. A 5-year-old girl being gunned down with her father. Her last moments in the back of a car while his were on the pavement. At the end of the day, killing is killing, and every day the wrong people get shot. But who's actually to blame? If the shooters were locked up back when one tried to rape a woman and the other shot a man, they wouldn't have had the ability to kill that little girl. If the so-called street code was real, the shooters would have got punished for targeting women in the past, but they didn't. Everyone can claim women and children are off limits, but the reality is, the streets knows no limits. Any and anyone can fall victim, and whoever's left either seeks revenge continuing the cycle or attempts to pick up the pieces. As for the two shooters, on March 6th, 3 days after the shooting, cell phone video would emerge of multiple police vehicles at a Chevron gas station in Livingston, Texas. Livingston Police, Fort Worth Police, and Texas Rangers would place a man and woman into custody, with police having confirmed the man was none other than Adonis Robinson. It's unclear at this time if the female will face charges of accessory.
She already crying. She telling.
On March 7th, Jacoby Russell would be arrested in Fort Worth, and the chase officially came to an end. With both men facing capital murder charges,
he showed us in the beginning.
Under Texas law, they can face execution, which I can't imagine anyone protesting against. A GoFundMe for the mother of the little girl that was taken will be pinned in the comment section of this video for anyone wanting to donate. A picture posted to Ronnie's Instagram would show his daughter with another little girl, and the caption would read, "My baby girl couldn't stand the fact that her friend was sad. This morning her daddy couldn't make it to Donuts with Daddy, so you know we let her know it's okay to join us and she can snap it up, and that changed her whole mood. My little Valentine's, literally." A small act of kindness by Ronnie and his daughter would be returned after their tragic deaths, as that same little girl sent a video expressing how she misses her friend.
I missed you at school today, Armani. I love you.
Now, this is one of the...
Bro, you want to know what? I ain't gonna cap, gang. That just hit a little different. Because we always think about, like, damn, the mama, the auntie, the grandparents. Bro, it's people out here who ain't blood related who love these folk. You got to think about it. When you was in school, you probably had that one friend who you was real close with. Like, this your everyday partner when you in school. Like, you want to sit next to him in class, or her, sit next to him or her in class. Y'all kicking it, talking like every day. And then one day you just, she just gone. And you a kid, so your parents ain't never really gonna tell you what's really going on, but you might understand or you might not. It depends on how advanced you are as a kid, but that could be a traumatic experience. For some no good, random ass niggas like, don't got shit going on, failed rappers.
In recent times, right?
Killing
to
kids.
Hear that somebody's daughter got killed. And I mean, there's been similar situations. We had the guy in Chicago who allegedly pissed on someone's grave. They tried to kill him and they only killed his little girl in the backseat. He ended up surviving, and I think he might have changed his life. I hope he did. But just the thought of you can't go to a car wash with your kid without the possibility of being gunned down is crazy.
Wake the fuck up.
And at this time, we don't know a motive. So like I said, I'm not going to dive into the conspiracy theories, but I am going to break down accountability. Killing is killing. When you decide to kill somebody, you're responsible for every shot that comes out of that gun.
Facts.
A lot of these guns out here, they're not gonna, the bullet isn't gonna stop when it hits someone, it keeps going. The bullet isn't gonna stop when it hits a car, it pushes through. This is how innocent people keep getting killed. They saw him at his car, they opened fire, they end up hitting the little girl, probably had no idea she was there, but now, nobody cares. Y'all made the decision to pull those triggers. Your decision caused the death of not only him, but a 5-year-old little girl. If the state of Texas pushes for the death penalty, who the fuck...
But one thing that I did hear about the state of Texas, y'all correct me if I'm wrong, but this is what I heard, that since the shooters are both under the age of 21, or at least the person who said this said they were under the age of 21, they cannot get the death penalty in Texas because they're under the age of 21. Like I said, I don't wish death or jail upon nobody, but I wouldn't take it off the table.
In all actuality, is gonna say they don't deserve it. I would love to know. Who's gonna say, yeah, no, don't fry them. Nah, spare them. They didn't know better. They weren't fully developed. No, none of that. Because if you look at their history, one tried to rape a 55-year-old woman, the other one's beating his pregnant girlfriend and shooting people. Accountability again. If the judicial system had put them away, they would have never had the ability to do this.
Facts.
So again, there's a fine line between, you know, defund the police and give people bonds and...
But then that's the thing though, I ain't on some defund the police shit. I'm on some lower them fucking speeding tickets. You know what I'm saying? I am on that movement. You know what I'm saying? If everybody want to join up with me, come on with it. You know what I'm saying? But I'm not with them defund the police. I'm not with a lot of this other shit that's going on. When you got shit like this, and then it's gonna be niggas and females on the side of the shooters who is like, man, free that man. This, that, and the third. He just killed a 5-year-old girl. You don't care about none of that. So why should we care about the quote-unquote brutality you go through with the police? You spreading brutality and pain through your own community. But you want somebody to care. Like, that's the shit that gets me. Motherfuckers be... People are so willing to whine and cry when the police do something, then go on a hit, kill a grown man who really ain't even in the streets, and his 5-year-old daughter on purpose or on accident, and then will sit somewhere and cry police brutality. You should be getting brutalized by anybody. It shouldn't just be the police. It should be all other inmates. They should be in there doing y'all the worst way. But somewhere, somehow, somebody's praying that these people are set free even after what they did.
Be strict to where you let people off that should be in. I've been in prison. There are people that 100% should never be released and should never come home. And if you've been to prison, you know the people that I'm talking about. You've seen them. They just can't get right. They love stabbing. They love violence. They can't handle responsibility. They fold under pressure. They lash the fuck out. They're mentally unstable. Well, clearly, that's what we're dealing with.
The way that you was just turning up a little bit, it's looking at you sideways.
It's a terribly sad thing that happened. My condolences to the family. And like I said, I'm going to have the GoFundMe pinned in the comment section for anybody that wants to donate. But rest in peace to Ronnie. Rest in peace to his daughter. As a father, I can't imagine. I'll just have to keep y'all updated with this case. It's 1090 Jake.
Yeah, man. So that's going to go ahead and wrap up that video on the Get Money Lil Ronnie situation and update. Everybody involved has been caught and arrested. Like I said, bro, if you going to do something, you better be doing it to get away with it. Y'all doing this shit broad daylight, just fiending to be them niggas who said that they did this, that, and the third. But y'all was all caught within 4 days. So was it worth it? Definitely not. Is any of this dumbass street shit wars that we got going on in our community, is it worth it? Definitely not. But at the end of the day, it's what's going. You feel me? So with that being said, make sure y'all like, comment, and subscribe. It's your boy Key checking in, checking out. We gone.